The Islamic curtain in Iran is falling. In Tehran right now, the protesters have been replacing street names and sticking new signs on the streets with the name Donald J. Trump. There is a revolution happening in Iran, and unfortunately, the Islamic Republic of Iran is not treating the protesters well. And they've never treated their people well from the very beginning. We know of at least 36 protesters that have been murdered by the Islamic Republic of Iran, by the government. But this is not in the news, and I want you to know some facts from the ground. Here I am in Armenia, I'm in Yerevan, but we have probably in our circles around 100 converts to Christianity from Persia, and I'm connected with almost in every province, in every city in Iran. So I'm getting news right from sources. And one of the things that I would say, why is this happening now? Look, it's been under Iran has been under Islamic Sharia law for 47 years, at least 47 years. And this was under an Ayatollah Khomeini. And I would say the number one factor is not the Mossad causing this or the CIA. It is the people of Iran are fed up with Islam. Islam is the greatest enemy to the people of Iran, and they know it. So what I mean by that is for the last 10 to 15 years, the fastest growing country in the world for the religion of Christianity is Iran. And I mean by conversion, people converting from Islam to Christianity. But that's kind of actually not true because they're not necessarily leaving Islam and then becoming Christians. What is happening is they had left Islam long ago and they have become functional, somewhat functional atheists. And in fact, I call them atheist from a Muslim background because the God that they ended up rejecting was not the Christian God that's good, wise, loving, eternal, all of those things about who God is in the Bible. They're rejecting the God of hate, the God of this punishment, this God of death, this God of blood that's in Iran. If you guys don't know, Iran abuses children probably more than any country because of the Shia religion. They, on Ashura month, they take the children and they take chains and whips and they make the children cut themselves on the head with knives and on their hair, and there's got blood flowing. And these are little children that are doing this as a remembrance of Ali, who was killed. But so it's just a bloody religion, and they've been forced to live under Sharia Islamic law. Before, under the Shah, the king, Reza Pahlavi, the king, they were not forced to live under Sharia law. And so, for example, if you convert to Christianity and you're caught and you're prosecuted and all of those things, you are murtad or murted, and you're apostate, and the the punishment for that is death. You're executed. So, in spite of them knowing for the last 20 years, Christianity is exploding in Iran. I know people have been like, well, where'd you get those figures? Well, I'm a missiologist. I study. And all the missiologists, we have databases and we look through things and we can figure things out. We know at least there's 1 million converts. And I've said before in other videos, it's up to the amount that people actually think now is 3 million, but it could be closer to 8 million. We won't know until we can get there and get hard data, but we know that it is exploding. And I can see that here in Armenia when we have people coming up and wanting to be baptized on a weekly basis from Iran because they're not able to do that. They're not able to meet as Christians there. They're not able to have the Persian Bible in their own language there. And Islam has been repressing them. And not only that, they've had this thing over there in Shia Islam called mutanika. It's like a temporary marriage. So, if you decide that you want to be married temporarily for an hour, 3 hours a day, you can take your prostitute and go legally before an imam, a mullah, and you can get married, and then you can consummate that marriage, and then you can divorce that person. And it's called temporary marriage. And it's basically Islamic Allah-sanctioned adultery or prostitution. And there is a lot of really, really bad things that have been going on over there. I mean, you think of the protest from 2022, I believe, the Zengidi and Azadi movement, the Women Life Freedom, which is, it was first started with Kurdish, it was Janjian Azadi. And it was because of Masa Amini was killed. Well, because part of her head scarf, was not covering her hair, and it was seen, and she was taken and basically imprisoned and eventually died from being beaten to death. And they've been throwing students off of buildings, anybody that goes against the government, and it's about Islam. I know many people there that have basically, when they come to hear about who Jesus is and read the Bible, they're like, wow, this is not the God of Islam. And this is the truth. I knew God was loving. I knew he wasn't like what they taught us. And I have a prediction that in Iran, there's going to be mass Quran burnings because people are angry that they were forced to live under this demonic religion. All right. So we're not going to confuse. So this guy Khomeini is that took over 47 years ago. He brought the country under oppression. I mean, when you're not allowed to share the gospel, the only thing that can bring spiritual life and hope and freedom to people, it's illegal to propagate religion, specifically Christianity. That's illegal. You're not allowed to have these public displays of Christianity, and it's illegal to convert. And then you're not allowed to have the Bible in the Persian language. It's illegal. You go to prison for that. So no printing of the Bibles, distributing or reading or anything, or gathering together as Persians to worship in the Persian language, to hear the Bible preached in the Persian language, and to have Persian churches. Well, all of that's changing. The people are angry. They want freedom. And they don't want to be, they don't want the Gashte Arshad. Look, they've got this police group. It's like the morality police. They have this in Saudi Arabia and other Islamic republics as well, where they go around to make sure people are living as Muslims according to Sharia law. And if you are not, you are taken into their morality police station and lectured on Islam and how you need to conform to Islam, and you need, maybe you've been led astray and so forth. I'm just saying, Islam is the main cause of what's going on right now. And I've seen it. I've been talking to Persians for years, hearing their stories. And yes, it is true, the economy is collapsing. And whenever you don't do things according to God's ways, everything goes bad. You have bad marriages, you have bad child rearing experiences, you have bad economy, you have bad education. Everything goes bad when you don't follow the Bible. They're following the Quran, which is the opposite, and their version of the Hadith. And when you do that, everything collapses. And that's why it's the same thing when you do things according to communism, Marx, or any other ideology that is opposite to what the Bible teaches. You're going to see a major collapse in those societies. And that's always been historically tested and proven to be true. So I'll just say that. So the economy is collapsing. In fact, this is not on the news. And I'm going to share this about how bad the economy is. So right now, if you have a family of three, okay, and the prices have gone up so much in just, I'm going to use only eggs, bread, and vegetable cooking oil. That's all we're going to talk about, okay? This is how much it's gone up. Because of inflation, the cost of eggs, if you're going to eat 2 eggs per meal, 3 times a day with some bread and some vegetable oil to cook the eggs, okay? That's all we're doing, all right? Got it? Got the math? You're eating 2, 4, 6 eggs a day, and then you've got some bread, and then you got the oil to cook, right? So you're just eating bread and eggs for 3 meals a day. A family of 3. Because of inflation, the cost of the eggs, the bread, and the cooking oil comes out to be 12 million toman. That is $81 per month. So that's 81 is just going for eggs and bread. That's all you can eat. $81, 12 million toman. However, the father's salary to be able to provide food, utilities, rent, gas, transportation, all the things that you need is only around 11.5 million toman. So people are barely able to survive and eat, much less pay their bills. And so there is an economic collapse. because of this. And that's another thing that's really, really frustrating people. And of course, that frustrates people. But the thing that's frustrated them more is Islam. And their economic collapse is based upon Islam as well. Um, of course, the protest, I was going to say this, Venezuela has a huge factor to play in this because, look, Venezuela and Iran have been friends from Hugo Chavez's days, from Maduro. They've strengthened. And we see Venezuela shipping gold to Iran to avoid sanctions because Venezuela has gold. Venezuela also has uranium. And I've already shared how they were getting uranium from the jungles, kicking out the missionaries from the jungles and getting the uranium over to Iran. And they've been producing weapons and helping support Hamas. This is Venezuela. All this is cut off now. So there's some huge connections with this. Actually, everything has to do with China, but I'm not going to talk about that. This is really some of to me, what's interesting is you have this Pavlevi. So people are crying out on the streets saying this. They're saying Javid Pahlevi. That means long live or everlasting Pahlevi. They want the crowned prince, this is Reza Shah's son, Reza Pahlevi, to come back and have a constitutional monarchy and run the country not under Islamic Sharia law, but with freedom for everything. They want freedom of religion. They want freedom of speech. They want to be able to dance. They want to be able to. They want to be able to drink alcohol. Again, that's Sharia law. That's haram, right? They want to be able to just kind of live normal lives and have like a free market economy and all of those things. And Reza Pahlevi is the person that they are asking, chanting for to come back. Reza Pahlevi, I've listened to probably 10, 15 of his speeches over the last 2-3 years, read a lot about him, listened to a lot of his interviews. And right now he is calling for, and he's been exiled in the United States out of Washington, D.C., but he has been calling right now for coordinated protests starting tomorrow. That's Thursday, I think that's January 8th, and then Friday, January 9th. So he has specific instructions for all the people in Iran. Also, he has a channel for police officers, government officials, and military to defect. Because when he comes over, he's going to restructure the government, and he's giving people a chance now to defect before it's too late. And you're seeing that in protests where police are laying down their arms and joining the protesters and letting them protest because Iran is falling. The Islamic curtain is falling. Iran is not falling. Iran is rising up to be the country it's supposed to be. Now I want to get to that because this is really interesting for me anyway. So I was looking at what's happening and closer to the Kurdish regions in Iran. Now, if you don't know about Iran, it's around 90 million people. Oh my goodness, there's Kurds, there's Kashkai people, there's Turkmen, there's Azeri background people. You've got Lori people, Galaki people, Sistani people. You have all these different languages and stuff, okay? It's a very complex country. And again, like I said, I know people from all those areas and work with them. We disciple them after they come to faith in Christ. Anyway, so looking at something, nobody's mentioned this either. And I found this so fascinating, guys. So if you're reading the Bible, it mentions Iran. It's all over. You have King Cyrus. He's the one that basically gave the decree to rebuild Jerusalem again. So you have the Daniel with the wise men. The wise men that came to worship Jesus were from Iran. You have all these connections with Iran, okay? But this one's, I think, this could be fulfillment of prophecy in the Bible. So look at Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah, Old Testament, chapter 49, verses 34 through 39. The title is this. It says, Judgment on Elam, or Elam. Elam is a province in Iran. This is important. Don't miss this. It says, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet concerning Elam in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah. Thus says the Lord of hosts, that's our God. Behold, I will break the bow of Elam, I should say, the mainstay of their might. And I will bring upon Elam the four winds from the four quarters of heaven. And I will scatter them to all those winds, and there shall be no nation to which those driven out of Elam shall not come. I will terrify Elam before their enemies and before those who seek their life. I will bring disaster upon them. My fierce anger declares the Lord. I will send the sword after them until I've consumed them. And I will set up my throne in Elam. This is God saying he's going to set up his throne there and destroy their king and officials, declares the Lord. It seems to me that you're seeing this happen right now, where this anti-God, Islamic demonic regime is going to be removed and destroyed. It says here, declares the Lord, in Elam. This is Iran. And it says right this, last verse, 39. But in the latter days, I will restore the fortunes of Elam, declares the Lord. So there's going to be judgment. God's going to reestablish his Christianity in the country, his kingdom, and the fortunes of Elam will be restored. Why do I say that's really important right now? Because of this. Okay, this is not coincidence, I believe. Iranian protesters have seized and taken control from the government the cities of Abdanan and Malek Shah. You hear that? Two cities that they have completely taken away from the government of the Islamic Republic. The people have it now. It's been freed. Where are those cities located? Elam. The first cities freed. The first cities that have been taken, been freed from this oppression, are in Elam. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. We'll see in the future what's going to happen, but I just find that really interesting. In the province of Elam today, mostly Kurdish, but it has a population of around 600,000 people. So it's a good size province. It's not huge, but it's a good size. But it's interesting that it was there yesterday that these were set free. So keep that in mind as we're watching all of these things. So this Zendegi Azadi movement that's happening right now, that's continuing. The current mullah, we call him Mush Ali Khamenei. I don't think he's going to be there long. It looks like Russia is going to take him, like they took Bashar al-Assad and anybody else they work with. So we are. I'm looking at all of these things, and I've been praying for Iran. My friends are so excited that are from Iran, whether it's in America or here. All those that were exiled because of the Islamic mullahs, and those that have been tortured. I have a lot of friends that have suffered a lot of torture. There's a lot of people that I'm praying for that are in Evin prison right now in Tehran that are Christians and are there specifically because they're Christians. They're going to be set free. And those that have done these wicked crimes against their people will definitely face judgment here on earth and in the next world as well. And so my friends here are very excited about the prospect of Iran becoming a truly great Iran, making Iran great again, MIGA. And we're praying towards that end. And if it happens, we're going to be throwing a very large celebration here in Yerevan, inviting our Iranian brothers and sisters to join to celebrate not just the fall of the Islamic Republic, but celebrating the rise of a true free Iran. So, wow, if I was going to say Javid Iran, Harbaji Iran for the Lord. God bless you guys.